we all must be part of the governance. So join Daddy Kris every day 8 p.m. to dissect on the political situation in Nigeria.
Yes, people. My name is Daddy Kris, and this is Srtv. I'm broadcasting tonight from London. This is one of those free fall. I wanted to do freestyle, but then I can't do this alone. So I have with me a very special guest tonight. But hey, what do I do on this show? This is a show where I actually talk about the things you need to know, not the things you want to hear. So these are two different things. My show is about actually trying to address or go to where that is a little bit uncomfortable for everybody. And that is where I come in. I don't think I'm one of those who want to talk about what you want to hear. So if you want to do that, hey, look at for one of those videos, look at one of those comedies and laugh. But today on my show, I'm going to do what I do best. I'm going to bring in things you don't want to hear. And I'm sure this is the way to go, especially in Nigeria as it is. Tonight really is called very difficult topic, minimum wage in Nigeria. Now, I want to submit to us that minimum wage is something we don't seem to understand the implication of it. So for us, you think it's okay to pay people, you're doing them a favor. In this show tonight, I'm going to try and make Nigerians understand the implication, the economic implication of minimum wage, the moral implication, the political implication, and perhaps the social implication of paying the minimum wage. And that is why I brought this topic, and I have, like I said, I have a very special guest. Roland will be joining me shortly, and we're really going to look at this. Let me quickly bring in Roland. Roland, you're welcome to this show as usual.
Yes, good evening, everyone. Daddy Kris, good evening. And the viewers, I greet them especially. And I appreciate this special opportunity to have these discussions once again.
Roland, it's not an opportunity, you are an asset. In fact, there are some people, I said to them, the last time, I said to Roland, you designed this whole paper, you gave it to me. I'm going to give it to somebody. Can I give it? Say, listen, at least as long as they can use it well. So there's the amount of selflessness in what you do. May God bless you. In fact, not everyone of us understand that. But God gave us a gift, and your gift is what you're using to bless the nation. And we'll come to that on a special day. But tonight, Roland, something disturbed me. In fact, gravely, of grave concern to me, which is the minimum wage we pay in Nigeria. For me, I call it slave trade. And perhaps one of your posts actually brings this issue back to me. You know, when I wrote a script in 2014 and I went to make a movie on my return about the guy who came back to Nigeria to launch a TV show on politics, what he was talking about is about this minimum wage. And if Nigerians cannot afford to pay, look at the funniest thing. The Nigerian then was paying 18,000. Now they paid it to 30-something thousand. I hope Tinubu will raise it to 60,000. Even at that, it's still an insult, a degrading thing. And in fact, it's affecting the Nigerian economy. And I'm going to try and explain this. But before we even look at that first, let us look at the area that is most shameful. That is the shameful part of it. It's when I look at it as another slavery. But this time, we are enslaving ourselves. Back in those days, white people saw something good in us. They wanted labor. They came and they took us away as slaves. Right? And the only reason we called that slavery is that they were not paying us what they're supposed to pay. That's why it is called slavery. Even though had it been they took us, like now, I came to Europe on my own to come and work for the white people. Nobody forced me here. Is that slavery?
Yeah, that's no, so not at all.
They pay me now. Had it been they took our forefathers, like the guys you see in America now, and they paid them. Because slavery. Because they were not paying the decent wages, we call it slavery. Actually, they were feeding them. You understand? What Nigerian government pays you today is barely even enough for you to feed. And you said
that's correct.
And today, we're enslaving ourselves. The government is doing it. You and I'm going to say to those people watching us tonight, you are a part of this slave trade. All the governors in Nigeria, you are all slave traders. You see, Mr. President, tonight the Kris is here calling you a slave trader. As if every guy is not comfortable. You think I'm talking about the politician. Even you that have a private firm that employ a human being and you engage that person and pay the person 60,000 naira, again, you're a slave trader. But we're going to look at that carefully tonight. So, Roland, this is a very, very serious issue. Because first, let us look at the concept of the minimum wage. Let's look at the economic implication first. Maybe for us, let's start from there. If Nigeria, if you pay somebody, the money kind of circulates around. I'm saying that, and this act of slave trade will not be there. The first thing I said to Nigerians, and I've said to them, a lot of Nigerians have been to Europe. Some of you are still coming. I beg, ask any human being. Since I've been in Europe, I've been here for over 30 years now. I've never met a person that have a personal driver. No human being. It's not because we don't want to, but because we cannot afford it. And why can't we afford it? Because the government makes sure if you employ somebody, you pay the person a decent wage. In fact, the fastest thing that can get me to prison is to employ somebody and pay the person below the wages. And Roland, I reason why I cannot tell. Now let's look at it this way. Only in Nigeria too, you see somebody, I heard somebody say gate man. So the man's job is just to open the gate, I mean. It doesn't add up. So a human being is employed to open gates. And how much do they pay him? You know, there's somebody that called me one day. He said, the young girl said she's going to work. And I said to her, how much do they pay you? She said 15,000. The transport to the work and back is 11,000 in a month. So she works for 4,000. Is she not going to prostitute? So Roland, let's look at that implication first. How can a society move forward if we enslave ourselves? And this is a society that will go to church every day or will go to mosque every day. What do you think is really responsible for this?
Daddy Kris, let me start by thanking you and the audience once again. This is a very serious subject to discuss. It is really very serious. I know the invitation is as a result of an article I put forward recently, which I publicized as well. It's about Africans to stop enslaving themselves. Because long after the slave trade is abolished, the Western colonization was abolished, we are currently experiencing a new form of slavery, which is really very alarming, because it is enslavement of the black man by his brothers and his sisters. And to make matter worse, government is supposed to be the one to protect the interests, but especially of the weak. But the government, as we know it currently, is culpable. As a fact, is the master of this of this whole arrangement. Is the master, because for you to put minimum wage at 30,000 naira or 35,000 naira, it's ridiculous. Yes, it's ridiculous. One of the reasons why it is so ridiculous is that in the US, some states pay $15 per hour. Some state, $15 per hour. Yeah, 1 hour. That 30,000 naira you're paying is equivalent to $25. That means it's a 1 hour.
Yes, minimum wage in the UK is 13 pounds at the moment. Minimum wage.
Yes.
If you're in London,
yes,
you're expected to get it more because you pay more in London. In the UK,
yes.
So you pay what you pay somebody for hours as a salary of a human being.
In 1 month. It is ridiculous. It is ridiculous. And you see,
Look at this content. In the same Nigeria, the senators, the governors earn 20 times more what the politicians in Europe are earning.
Yes, so we are going to take it one after the other. It's not just the senator, it's not just the governors. Almost everybody is becoming culpable for this, evil.
Yes.
Yes, evil and inhuman practice that take place in our society today. It's not just the governor that's at the peak of it. So we're going to take it one after the other. So the expectation is the government is supposed to provide laws to protect the people. But the government, they are not there to provide such laws again because they are busy looting just for themselves and their kids.
Rolando, let's put it this way. A senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria gets a minimum of 5 policemen working for him. 5. Rolando, in the United Kingdom, who are you other than the Prime Minister that is assigned a policeman? They're not the one that wear uniform. Other than the Prime Minister, who are you to be guided by a British police? Who are you?
It's the level.
They sit down, they put the policemen at the back of the pickup of this vehicle as they are driving. Hey, they can smash you on their way.
Yes, so to put this in the right perspective, so let's start from looking at what is ongoing currently. So currently we have insecurity in some part of the country.
Yes.
And that part of the country has been exposed. What part am I talking about? The north, for instance, but especially the middle belt. Because of, the insecurity in their land, you have so many of them migrating towards the south. And today, that weakness has been weaponized by people in different cities. You come to Lagos, for instance, you see them in different homes being employed. And when you ask them how much do they pay them, they say 25,000, 30,000. And nobody is doing something about it. This is a raw form of slavery that is going on. Just because their farmlands in the Middle Belt, in Benue State, in Nasarawa State, in Kaduna, in some other part of the north like Borno, Adamawa, Zamfara, just because their farmlands are currently being invaded, they're being terrorized in their land and they're moving to another part of the country, then you just weaponize that and start taking them like slave. You employ them. You see some people employ like 5 of them. One can just be looking at your daughter, the other one wash your clothes, because what do they pay them? 5,000 or 15,000 or 20,000? It is something that can be looked into properly. And you see, to make matter worse, it's growing beyond just the people, because everybody is now indulging in it. If you come to Lagos, come to Lekki in Lagos, then you see almost every home has one of those slaves or the other. Some are in the gates, some are in their house, just looking for them, just cooking, just work. And they pay them 25,000, and the government is doing nothing about it because the chief architect.
They said the private job. Roland, what the government said, the private job. Let's look at it this way, Roland. You see, if government introduce a decent wage, say for instance, the salary of a human being in Nigeria, if it's ₦1 million, for instance, let's not push it, say 500,000, which is still an insult. What will happen is that if you have 3 drivers, you pay 1.5 million towards your drivers. You will consider how many cars you want to have. But right now, maybe the driver salary is 50,000. So you can pay only 120. Why not have enough slaves? You see? So the only reason people again, somebody opening your gate for you, It's Rolando. I cannot, the last time somebody came here, one musician, and he was waiting for somebody to go. I said, you go pick your food. You understand? He thought he's in Nigeria. You understand? Where they have slaves. Nobody's going to serve your food for you. You can't serve your food. You understand? I don't want to use the wrong language. Because Nigeria has really developed that stupid culture of having people serving them because they live in a country where slave trade is encouraged. If these people are paid, say for instance, Roland, a gate man, you want to have a gate man, no problem. If you want to have a gate man in the UK, government will be happy with you, but we're paying the decent wage. By the time you pay the man £1,200, I don't think you really want to have a gate man. If somebody to clean your gate,
nobody would want to. Nobody would want to. So the government has a major role to play in this, but they are not playing it. And our conscience.
Yes. What is so sad, and it's not a matter of conscience, so they should be in prison. What is so sad here is that the drivers, they literally live there. I don't even when they get their wife pregnant. You see a driver goes to work in the morning, that is driving Oga. Here and Oga will go, the driver will come back at 12 p.m. If we go early in the morning, the driver is there. So he has no life. He is a slave. When we say he's a slave, people don't understand. The gate man lives there. So they said they give him accommodation. So he's literally a slave, just like the slave master did to us.
Yes.
The government is happy. You know what I say, Roland? There will continue to be anarchy in the land.
Let's look. Yes. So let's look at the different spheres. So we have looked at, the individuals in the society, what they do, which they do it. Almost everybody do it. Yes. And you see, as they do it, they are also highly religious. The same people who indulge in this slavery, they go to church every day. Then they go to mosque also. Let's now look at the religious institution. They are pastors that, fly multiple private jets, but yet they pay those who work for them in their different businesses like 30,000 in a month. So many of them die every day out of hunger, but the pastors, they fly private jets. And you also see some Muslim clerics living in luxury, and those who work for them, they pay them, dehumanizing kind of, wage that they cannot use to survive.
I don't even understand the gospel they preach for these guys.
Yeah, so what's happening is they are taking advantage of the weak. That's the problem. Just like the way the colonial master took advantage of us being weak, that is the same thing that is happening. But now it's Africans to Africans, Nigerians to Nigerians, and they feel so comfortable doing it. Then let's migrate a little bit from the religious institution. Let's go to the banking sector. Some of them disclose every year multi-billion naira profit. But yet, just go to some of the banks in Lagos tomorrow and find out how much they pay their security guard and people who clean the banking facility. You will be so ashamed of people who disclose multi-billion naira every year as profit. But yet, they cannot pay somebody's salary that will even take the person transportation to the workplace. If you come to Lagos, I can bet you that there are no security guards or those who clean their facility that they pay salary that can take them to transport from where they stay to where they work in a month. These are the challenges. These are real problems. Then you now go to the hotel part of it, hotel business owners, that it's something else. Not even cleaners and security men, and even people who work in most of the hotel, they are highly underpaid. Something has to be done about it. Definitely. Then let's look at other sector like the health sector. I was talking with someone recently who is a nurse in one of the private medical centers. And what she said, they pay her salary, it's ridiculous. Then you also come back to the education sector. Somebody told me that there are people they pay 20,000 naira as teachers in private schools. I've not been. I said that's not possible. He said yes. Some people they pay 20,000 naira to teach in a month in some private schools. This is the reality of things. So,
but you know what is the so-called organized labor doing? He said the so-called organized labor.
The organized labor currently they are even fighting for themselves, and I learned they've beaten hell out of their chairman, their president. They beat hell out of him for fighting for themselves. They've not been able to fight for themselves, let alone to come and fight for every other that is not part of the union. It's a serious situation. Look, the reality on ground is that labor is not supposed to be protesting for increment or salary.
Yes.
The reason is the salary itself has been devalued, from, let's say, roughly $50 per month to around $20 per month, which they pay them now as minimum wage. The minimum wage used to be as high as $75 per month, because when the exchange rate was, let's say the exchange rate was even like 500 naira to $1, if they're paying you 30,000 naira, then it's roughly going to be how much? Let's say $75 per month. But now that the exchange rate is now about 1,100 to 1,200 naira to $1, that means if you're being paid 30,000 naira per month, that's like $20 off $25. So labor itself is not supposed to be agitating for increment. And what they are asking for is justifiable. They are not even asking for a whole lot. The reality on ground is the Nigerian people, the Nigerian youth has never asked for a whole lot. The Nigerian youth has never asked for a whole lot. What do they ask for? Nigerian youth say, give me a decent job. I'm ready to work. Just give me a decent job and pay me well to take care of my bill. Is that too much to ask? It's not.
You see, Rolando, but we tend to this issue we're talking about now.
Before you call me,
it's not really about this. They don't talk about this, yes.
Daddy Kris, before you call me there, I had an experience with somebody recently that we were talking. The person is a nurse. And the person got to know how much in my establishment I pay the cleaner. Because we have a cleaning technician in Spermat, how much we pay the cleaning technician. The person is a nurse, is a professional nurse that is educated. But just because of what they pay the person where the person works, the person was asking if, he can come and do the cleaning job rather than doing the nursing job. This is really a pathetic situation we have found ourselves. We have to come out from. We have to find a way to come out from it.
How do we get out of this? That was going to be my next question. How do we get out of this? Because it's like the ordinary Nigerians, they don't even understand what we're talking about. Understand? And it's not their business. But how can a society move forward if the money is... I said something the other day, that the money, it's not true that Nigeria does not have money. The truth is the money is in the hands of the few. Some people have it.
Yes, that's the reality.
A governor, for instance, earning 2.something billion as security vote without a social security, nothing. It's oh God. And you guys are waiting. You're not even bothered. It's your ear deaf. I mean, people travel to here. No, Roland, what is sad is the only reason people travel from Nigeria outside, if you come to London and you think London is better than Nigeria, big mistake, because hey, the job you will do in London, you will never do it in Nigeria. You come to London, a graduate, they are happy. Roland, you know what's so funny? There's a guy that came to with the wife to I accommodated them. They rented my flat for some time. You understand? And the The salary, the guy, they now give him a job in a hospital where he cleans. The guy is very comfortable. This guy, they work in the bank in Nigeria. Left the banking job, run down to London, and is happy doing what? Cleaning job. And I said to him, so that to say to you, when you come to London, don't think you're going to be an accountant or a teacher. You're going to do cleaning job. But the funniest thing is, the houses we built when we came to Europe, it was from those cleaning jobs. Because you are paid well as a cleaner.
Yes.
And so if you put in a lot of hours as a cleaner, you actually earn sometimes more than your manager because you are paid per hour.
Yes.
Nigerians, you are enslaved.
Yeah, that's true.
So if you put in, if your guy says sit down there, you sit down there. The policeman, in fact, they change their boots. Oh God, the slave trade in Nigeria. We need to do something about this. This is no joke. And you know why I'm so angry? Nigerians are waiting to say, oh, there is slave trade, they took us as slaves. But there is slave trade now in our land. Me and you enslave me.
By us. Yes, by us.
But how can there be no academic security? There's a worry saying that the poor men are hungry, so they cannot sleep. But the rich man can't sleep either because they know the poor men are on the streets. You can't sleep. If you come out, they'll devour you. That's why you're not sending your child. You have too many security. You know, Rola, can you imagine a society where everybody now have a policeman? Even our musicians, when I see them now, I see policemen following them. Yeah, they have bodyguard, but policemen carry heavy guns. And I said to myself, oh my God, what kind of lifestyle is this? So a country where you don't go out unless there's a police following you, is that the way to live a life? So even if I go those days, I go and take a girl and I am hiding from my wife, and I go into the hotel, the policeman or my security man will know what I'm doing. What a disaster. Is that the way a man should live his life? Now, because of fear, look at the fence. Ronaldo, look at also in Nigeria that have this high level of fence. When I come to London here, I've never seen people raising fence. You understand? If you see the kind of fence, the first thing you do, even before building the house, you raise a big fence. So nobody can enter the gate. Enter what? So we're not running from ourselves because of the iniquities in our land. You see, the land is cursed right now because we enslave one another. A land where you enslave people, how can there be progress? And you pastors, you don't see anything good. You don't even talk about this. You are more comfortable enslaving them more because they're going to go and do this peanut. They'll see you preach for them, they'll drop it. And you are comfortable. May God help us. Nigeria, this is serious. I have been going around the world. I've traveled to many countries. And Africa is so blessed. But until we remove slave trade from our society, we can never progress. Now, let me tell you the implication of when you pay people decent wage. Now, it is even a unique way of distributing wealth in society. I'm a rich man. I have a lot of money. So I need people to cook for me. I may be able to employ them. Then if I pay them 1 million naira, I have really empowered those people, not enslaved them. And then my wealth would have been distributed evenly. In fact, it's good for me because then I can sleep well. There will not be so many hungry people at the street waiting to kill me. My child can go to school in Nigeria. You understand? So it is for your own good. And I keep saying it. It is the rich people that introduce welfare package in Europe. If you don't work in London, you must get a decent, they will give you money to eat. Has to stay because it is your right as a human being. They're not doing it for you because it's your right. They're doing it because they want to have peace. Nigeria, there's no way you're going to have peace with that money you're stealing. When these people are out there on the street, a hungry man is an angry man. You cannot be beating a child and you expect the child not to cry. Where? Let's look at that first. Let's look at the most threatening part of this whole story. Is that we claim to be Christians or we claim to be Muslims, right? And if what we say tonight, if it makes sense at all, that you are not a slave trader, How does it make you feel? Do you truly think that is what God wants? You know, the last time I read the Bible, Roland, when they say one portion of the Bible say, we should be submissive to our slave master. You know, that's what stupid thing they wrote to the Bible in those days, to cool the slaves. You understand? And I said, it's not God, because God never created me as a slave. God does not recognize slaves. God does not create one of his child and say one should be a slave to the other.
Yes.
When you preach that one, I'll carry my Bible and leave. I don't take it. See, that's why. And another thing, Roland, last time they said to me, somebody's a Gentile. I said, I am not a Gentile. Because I don't know the meaning of your Gentile. That's the Jewish word of condemning people. I don't believe in your stupid Gentiles. I believe in God. I believe in Jesus Christ. Every other thing, no. Because some of the things there were things used to actually make us look stupid tomorrow. Roland, how can God create me and say, you are the choosing one, I'm not choosing? Hey, that is a story told by those people. If you listen to my forefathers, there's no time. Oh God. History when we not write, Roland. Our history that is not written is the most painful thing that happened to Africa. Because our forefathers wrote down their history, you would have seen their relationship with God, how God saved them, helped them, and we would have our own Bible in another name. But because our own is not written, we think that we have no history or not. Until today, Ronald, the funniest thing, Africans are still not writing their history. I want us to write down that in this 2023, that we still live in a society where we enslave one another, so that our children will look at this generation. They will look at this generation. Baba Tinubu, you are the president of Nigeria today. And I said, I want to put this man, I want to indict him. So that maybe they think we are joking, but this is no joke. Baba, are you a slave trader? Tinubu, you are president of a country where there is slave trade. Or you don't recognize this as slave trade. Sometimes these people don't understand. They think I'm just talking and I look stupid. But like when you talk in the midst of these people, I get confused right now. I stop talking. Because it looks as if you don't know what you're doing. Because the people you're talking to, they really don't get it. And the ordinary Nigerians, if you tell them that, I say they're providing jobs now. Jobs as enslaving people. You know, in those days, why don't you say the slave masters were providing jobs when they come and carry our forefathers away? Were they not providing jobs? Can you imagine?
The government that is supposed to protect the weak, there is no government, because they themselves, no matter how fed they are, they also behave like weak people mentally. So that is the reality on ground. And you see, a lot of the ills we have in the society today, it's as a result of this collapse, this collapse of the government, all our institutions. So today also you see some of the ladies in the cities indulging in prostitution and all kind of misbehaviors. Most of them do not want to live such lives. If they are opportunity, yes.
Be angry with me now. What are the alternatives we really live for these young people? I know we blame them for doing what alternative do we create for them? We can blame these young people.
If opportunities are there, a lot of these social vices and social ills will come down. And you see, Nigerians, the youth in reality, they are creative, they are hardworking. Most of them are ready to work. And from what I do in life, I have come to realize that, yes, so many Nigerians are ready to work if given the opportunity. So what is lacking is the opportunity. And let me tell you today, so the society, since it's survival of the fittest, it is not so structured, well structured to account for our potentials. What I mean in essence is not everybody needs a college degree or a university degree to be able to fit into a society. Because your society has different strata. And no matter your position, the skill you have, the talent you have, the society should be able to offer you opportunity and pay you well as a result of, the opportunity you have been offered.
No, like the reality here, Roland, is we again ignoring what we do best and maybe embracing the things we don't know. Let's put it this way. I can tell Nigerians today that I've never seen a mechanic that is out of job because there are so many cars driving on the streets. The cars will get damaged. People need to fix them. You understand? So if you do that, you can never be out of job. You understand? That is it. But when you do that kind of a job, this is the problem, Roland. The money you get paid, even the money they pay the mechanics for their services. Roland, let me put, the funniest thing, let me compare to UK. To buy the spare parts of my car here is nothing. It's very cheap. But the per hour BMW will charge me for 1 hour to fix my car. If the car stay there for 3 hours, I better forget the car. I won't go there and pick it. I'll leave it for them. Because they respect labor. You see, but this is the irony of it. Over there in Africa, the spare parts are more expensive. The slaves are there to do the work. But here, there is no slave. The equipment are there. If you engage my time in London per hour, they will begin. If you call a lawyer today, when you call my lawyer will tell you what it's per hour, and my fee is £150 because I know you, Daddy Kris. I say, but I just want to talk. That's my consultation. If we stay longer than an hour, you pay 300. Because you understand, Roland? There is this sense, there is respect. The government made it. It is I'm talking of all spheres of life. That's why people can choose to be a mechanic.
So Daddy Kris, you see how the society is designed. Yes. The society is designed in such a way that no matter what you do, what you make, you must give it out so that the economy will be in circulation and it will work.
Thank you.
It's not like the case in Nigeria where you have some few, they work and they get a lot, and they can afford to pay nothing to other people who work for them as well. So that is the reality of the situation.
And when that situation will be anarchy. In fact, the insecurity will remain a self-fulfilling prophecy. Because if you keep people in poverty, there's an extent. Like I said, a hungry man is an angry man. He's not going to go to bed. This is the funniest thing.
So what?
How can you give a gun to a man that you pay 40,000 naira? Which government does that? You pay somebody 60,000 in Nigeria and you give him a gun. Oh, God is helping us. If I am a policeman, I have gun, so I will be hungry with the gun. You understand? I have to go to church and pray. Otherwise, how am I going to? How do I explain this to my children? I look dirty then.
It is, Daddy Kris, the situation is a complex one. It is very complex. And let me tell you some of the complexities and why Nigerians, we also decide to go overseas. Most of them will travel overseas. Even at the level of consultancy, at the level of engineering, even in oil and gas.
Medical doctor.
Some companies, they've designed, supported by the Nigerian government, they designed a salary structure for Nigerians. And they've also designed a salary structure for foreigners. Do you know that some of those companies, if you are the most qualified for the job and you are a Nigerian who live overseas or who work overseas, they cannot employ you.
Of course.
They cannot employ you. The reason is they have a system in place that they would want to pay you Nigerian salary structure. But if you're already a consultant who work overseas, why would you come and work in Nigeria and get paid in Nigerian salary structure? It's not possible.
When you get
so and you see when you look at the way it is designed, that means it is designed to disempower nationals. It's designed to disempower citizens, because by the time that in a job you do, even as a consultant who work overseas, and if you want to now come and work in your country, somebody say, no, I will pay you Nigerian structure. But then you bring somebody from overseas and pay the person, international standard pay. By the end of the day, you are going to be disempowering nationals.
That's true.
That is the reality we have, even on ground in the sectors like the oil and gas sector, which is assumed to be the most lucrative sector in Nigeria. So the thing is, it's wide, it's diverse, it's become part of our mentality that it's difficult to now come out of it. And you see, we are looking at the challenges.
Yes.
We are looking at the challenges, just as you rightly said. It is not possible technically to be able to combat insecurity. When people are jobless, people are hungry, then you want to have secure society. It's not possible. So things must be done to create job for people, to create job that provide sustainable job for people, that provide them decent benefits to take care of themselves and their family. If not, it's not going to be peaceful. So now you can only fly. The politicians can only fly from Lagos to Abuja, from Abuja to Port Harcourt. But they cannot, take the road anymore, because they will be caught like rabbit and roasted somewhere, and that's it. So that's the reality. So you're a governor, you're only governor, you're only a politician on the sky. When you take your plane, you take your private jet, you're the politician of the sky. You cannot do that through the road anymore. The road now has a different governor. The road from Kaduna to Abuja has a different governor. You are the governor of the sky. You fly from Abuja to Kaduna. You can't
on the ground.
Yes, because of the reality of things. So a lot has to be done. A lot has to be done. And we have, in reality, the potential to come out of this. That is the reality. Because one, we have that geographical and geological advantage, then the human capital resources to be able to come out of this. It's just leadership. It's the bane, because by the time you have effective leadership,
you're right. I'm going to look at two things there. One, let's look first at what Nigerian society is. All right, what the implication, what this has resulted is, some people have so much now, which they don't need, while some have nothing, and they want to have peace. Now, if you go to some of those big houses in Asokoro, in Abuja, I'm talking massive. Nobody lives there, and sometimes you see only the wife coming out of that big whole lot. The only people that goes in there are the slaves. They go and literally worship them. And so, meaning, while some people have nowhere to sleep, some space are there. If you go to Festac, oh God, that is where that was the first time I almost cried in Nigeria. I was in Festac that day. If you see some part of the Festac, you see where the poor people are. Then when you turn around, Roland, you see these big structures. The family is only maybe 2 persons. They're hardly there. Well, they're looking down at the people who are suffering. I mean, like the hell and heaven. is infested. And I said to myself, which reasonable government will not actually advise the rich man there to give a little bit more so these people can sleep, so you can sleep. In fact, there's no other way. What is happening today is Nigeria is deeply divided. There are only two people in Nigeria. We don't have Muslim, we don't have Christian. We don't have Hausa, we don't have Yoruba. We only have the rich and the poor. In Nigeria, we only have the slave and the slave masters. There's only
yes, that is the reality on ground. That is the reality on ground. And you see what? The slave master, the people we presume to be rich, most of them, they are poor also mentally. Yes. Most of them are mentally bankrupt. You see, the society you have is also an intelligent-driven society. No one grave, for instance, you become a politician, he wants to be staying in one big house or drive. Nobody grave for that because it's also an intelligent-driven society. But the society where we are currently, you see, those people you call rich, most of them, they even poor financially. The reason is they cannot survive the street. They cannot survive out of the corridor of government where they loot money because they've created a lifestyle for themselves they have to sustain. That lifestyle.
Have you seen the videos when they live up this for only one year?
They are in trouble. They are already in trouble.
Their stomach, yes. Is the way they walk there.
Yes. If they leave, so look at all of them. All of them are Tinubu. Look at all of them. They are either past senator, past. As soon as they leave, as soon as they see that their party is not going to win, you see all of them running to the other party now because they are all stomach infrastructure politicians. Very poor mentally, then even poor financially because as soon as they've used all they've stolen to buy cars, bulletproof cars, because now they need bulletproof cars.
Of course.
300 million, $500 million naira, they use it to buy it. There will not be money in their account. So that money has to be made back. They cannot make back that money from any productive venture. They still need to go back to the corridor of government to loot more money. So they cannot create opportunity for Nigerians. They cannot create job for. They cannot also make laws that will make the common man, elevate himself out of this, slave.
Roland, it's good you bring me. That's where I was actually going. Now let's think about it. Have you seen the politicians in Nigeria say they want to empower people? I'll start with this easiest one we know. If you hear a good politician in Nigeria like Wike, Wike construct roads, he construct bridges, and Nigeria clap for the fool. And I said to them, how many lives can Wike claim? How many? You see, with the amount of money that came to Rivers State, Wike would have been able to produce minimum of 100,000 computer experts, create 100,000 medical doctors for nothing. It won't even cost him much. But he doesn't, like you said, they are mentally bankrupt. And we are now clapping for Wike for what? For spending that money on roads. Because we don't understand that when you invest on human beings, that when human beings are empowered, society will move forward. What are you going to do with roads? Look at the roads now. Nobody is moving on the road because the road is useless. If you cannot move on the road, now you are flying. Even the poor man cannot move on that road because the road is now controlled by other set of people. The boys, we drop them to there. They are there waiting now. So now the question is, what do you people do? How do you people empower human beings? Roland, please help me ask this politician. When they say I want to empower, how do you rate even the good performance of a governor? The one that constructs roads. Ask them.
But Daddy Kris, they've not even also constructed any roads. They've not in reality constructed. So except you are speaking from the context of probably using fry pan to compare fire.
Exactly.
Except on that context. But if you've gone around the world, there are no government who have constructed road. The only place in Nigeria you have few roads is Abuja, few roads. It's not like you have mega road structure, few roads. And almost all of them that are governor, they do not have even plan to develop infrastructure, let alone to empower people. They cannot, they don't have the capacity to do that.
Was a roadmaster. When I just talk, they will shout at me. That is what you're talking about. He's a roadmaster. Now Srtv is here now. Srtv started with the bridge. And I said to Srtv, don't you see human beings? Can Srtv say, before my first 100 days, I'm going to count them. 100 young people in this data, 100,000. I'm going to make them this. Do you understand, Roland? It's not a thing because they don't even understand the power of empowering human beings. They only think that the best thing that's going to make people clap for you is when you put street lights. Street light, that was your former senator. Street light. The other one, I know Srtv is going to do a lot of roads. They hate me now. They don't want to see my...
Yeah, but if you even look at the whole developmental structure, these are not projects with plans.
Of course.
You know, even including the human capacity development, you have to put it at the right context. That is the only time you can have, you know, final products that is sustainable. So even though if the current government, they want to empower people, their people empowerment program cannot empower people, because Tinubu also came and say he wants to empower people by sharing 80,000 naira or 20,000 naira to them or thereabout.
No,
this such
empowerment. He call it empowerment. That would be the highest insult. He said he's giving palliative. Somebody,
so palliative.
And they call for the Baba. Let's bring Baba here. This is the president of Nigeria. I know they will hate us now. You understand?
Yes.
This is the president of Nigeria.
So let's put things at the right context.
Yes.
Currently, by the mentality in which the country and these states are being governed, we cannot move forward. The mentality does not have what it takes to move a country and the people forward. You see, all they are doing, they are more interested in politics. So you see political noise to distract people. There are no concrete plans in place to genuinely empower people and also genuinely develop this society. Yeah? No, you can't. So if we want to look at the international perspective, a country like China has a population of 1.4 billion people or thereabout.
My God.
But imagine how they are able to transform themselves within the space of 40 years to a super, economic powerhouse in the world, empowering their people to the grassroots.
Yes.
So if you see the same kind of models they have used to empower their people to develop infrastructure, that's the type of model you will need to put Nigerians into work and provide them sustainable, empowerment. But there are no plans to achieve that currently. And there are also no plans to develop infrastructure, because if you build a bridge in isolation,
Yes.
it will not also provide results. But if you build a bridge that forms part of an industrial development master plan, or that form part of an economic development master plan, then the bridge is only a part of the big picture. Then it can produce results. So, but what you see,
yes,
it's not that. Yeah.
I agree. I agree. And you know what the funniest thing? I try to think very simple. Let's look back in the days. Our forefathers, if a typical Yoruba man will marry many wives and have more children because he need people to work with him in the farm. So we understand the power of labor. All right. Okay. Now, if Nigeria, if a governor want to really empower people, want to empower his state, or he want to grow his state, he's not thinking like our forefathers who were smart. Because what we have is human beings, young people. Nigeria have youth population that can be put to work. How can somebody not think of how to make these people, give them the right skill so they go and make money? What Wike did was to go and build bridges. He built law houses and they clap for him. Okowa was a roadmaster. I saw them today wearing robe and I said to myself, where are these people coming from? Are you guys in the 21st century? So I try to think simple. My father wanted more children so they can have more people to work in the farm. Now you have more children. You build a bridge in isolation, like Roland said. Who's going to use the bridge? Now you are flying on the road on top. Because the people that will use the bridge, they don't even know what to do. They are not even part of the society. The kids, you know what funny thing? Professor Lumumba said he lamented when a Nigerian lady that was saved in the Mediterranean Sea, they told her, she said she would rather die here than to go back to Nigeria.
It's pathetic. It is. It is a pathetic situation. I watched that speech of the emeritus professor.
Yes.
When he made that speech. It's quite touching when I listened to that speech. It is really touching. You know, in a country with a lot of potentials, a lot of opportunities, you know, to create wealth, to make wealth. And you have, as you said, a large population of youth that can be deployed, you know, the deployment alone. So, look, you see some of the even infrastructure you're talking about, that the Kris, because of the way globalization is, you know, some of these youth you see they are jobless. If you deploy them on a good day, they will be part of those developing those infrastructure as long as you have the right leadership to guide them, and they will be part of those. Look at what the Chinese have done. Now they are developing their infrastructure themselves. Then we are talking about agriculture, for instance. If you have the right leadership that will guide some of these youth, then you see most of them will deploy their energy to feed Nigerians and to feed the rest of Africa, and that will be sustainable job. That will not be job of come and stay in my house and wash plates and give you 20,000 naira or 30,000 naira. It will be sustainable job and it will be professional job.
Roland, this is the picture. This is what I'm asking. Imagine, for instance, I have this young children. They're my kids. And I want to grow with my family. What I do is to train them. That's what the typical man would do. Train my children so they have life skills, so they're gonna work.
Daddy Kris, even before you go further, let me share one personal experience with you. You see, in my campaign, for instance, I talked about establishing the Delta Construction Corporation. And the strategy would be to reduce the cost of infrastructural development by a minimum of 50%. I wouldn't need to give Julius Berger or to give contractors that the contract will be inflated, you know, to do any infrastructural work for me. What it means is I can guide, you know, local team and, you know, use them to construct whatever we want to construct. I have, you know, as you are aware, we have a facility in Saple that the spare mat when we want to build the warehouse in the facility. And my boys, they sent a quotation from contractors to me that should come and pay some huge amount of money to build it. Yeah. Huge amount of money. I called them and asked them that, sorry, what did you study? So one said he's mechanical engineer. As the other guy said he's electrical engineer. And the other one said he did a business or whatever. I said, okay, that's good. I said, do you know why you did physics in the university, in the secondary school, and you now did strength of material and thermodynamics? I say, this is the reason why you did it. You would design that facility under my guidance. We have all the machines. You will construct it.
Yes.
I'm not paying anybody. If I'm paying anybody, it means you've lost your job.
Yes.
They put their head into work. And they came up with design and did all the fabrication of the structures. And ultimately, they designed an equipment that is locally constructed by them to lift all the raft of the warehouse upward to install. Finally, they completed the structure at no incremental cost to the business. So when they did that, they now, at least if not for anything, they have learned something. As a fact, before they finished constructing our home, a passerby had already consulted with them. You people build warehouse like this? Said yes. So can you come and check my own and see if you can also do this steel roofing structure for me? They built capacity. They built capacity. Kris, that's what I am saying. They built capacity. And you see, the same team that came now to Lagos to build the waterfront warehouse we are building in Spearmat, Lekki 2. They are the ones fabricating and taking everything. So the story I have told you is not different from the Chinese story. The Chinese, over time, they mastered the craft of construction of mega bridges. Before now, you used to have Europeans, you used to have Americans go to Asia to build infrastructure for them. But today, the Chinese, they are the master of it. The longest bridge in the world, the tallest building in the world. They build it by themselves. And you see how you get to know this thing. It is by practice that you become perfect in the art of engineering. So, you see, this youth population you have, that they said no job, no empowerment. If you deploy them, they can only get better over time.
Roland,
Let's put it this way.
Roland, like I said, maybe I'm the one that is stupid here. I cannot understand why you have young people and they say no job. I just don't get it. And you know the strength. Roland, the story you told us now is how you train them, how you actually empower them to be useful to within. But Nigerian youth can actually be empowered to go to be our exports. Let me put it that way.
Yes.
Now we know the white people need them. They take our doctors. They take our. There's something going on now. We call it the brain drain. They will take the best from Africa. If you have some degree, masters, you can come to the UK. You can relocate to the UK. You understand? If once your point system is complete, you pack your load and your family and you come to UK. You don't need to go through the sea. You know, they will give you. That is, you are welcome. They give you resident at home to come to the UK. If you get masters, you get some. There's some point system we use. What that means is, these people need people to work. The age here, we live longer. So some of the old people, there are a lot of old people. The young people are not that much. They don't give birth to children like that. So they now need to feel that. If Nigerians is thinking or Africa is thinking, don't you think we need to train people now to export? You understand? To come and collect foreign currency and come home. Because this is what they need. This is what they need.
Let's even break it down, because we are not talking about how to solve this problem.
Yes.
You see, whenever you tell the politicians about projects, what they are thinking immediately is how to bring foreigners. The same way, whenever you tell them in the Senate or in the House of Rep about giving them a car, all they think is Japanese cars or German cars. But Nigeria is an automaker. It's an automaker. Nigeria has an indigenous auto manufacturing firm. It is evil for Nigerian government to spend $1 to buy car from any country. It is evil because then you are exporting your job. So we are talking about creating job opportunity for Nigerians so that you can empower these Nigerians that are being enslaved. You cannot be importing cars that are manufactured in Nigeria. It is out of place. You know, I heard of the story that there's a story that was told that the Pope wanted to visit, I think, South Korea. And, you know, there's this vehicle the Pope drives. It's Mercedes, it's German, it's European. Then they want to ship that vehicle or they want to fly the vehicle to South Korea. The Korean government said, no, we are going to provide Hyundai for the Pope. Good. But they said this car is custom built. What the government said is just provide the design. Hyundai will make one for free of charge for the Pope. Before the Pope lands, Hyundai, the same vehicle will be waiting for the Pope. Hyundai is having prominence and care. They're having prominence in Africa today. Then let's think about another even brand, Tata. You see, wherever the Indians go, they ship their Tata together with them. You see them with their Tata. Countries in the world are happy. They are proud using their indigenous products, but especially automobiles. Then come to even think about what is going on. We said the Naira is getting weakened and people are busily praying. Some people are busily enjoying themselves with propaganda that the Naira will improve. How will the Naira improve when you are not manufacturing anything? Moreover, what you are manufacturing, you are not patronizing it. I said the other day that if the Nigerian government make a policy, I would have expected the President Tinubu to make that as his first policy. If Nigerian government make a policy of national automobile policy today that makes it a crime for all government agency parastatals to buy a car or any automobile manufactured or assembled overseas, just that one policy alone will strengthen the dollar, because by the time you now say you're going to only buy automobile that are made in Nigeria, apart from Innocent, which is a Nigerian brand, other Nigerian companies will spring up and other foreign companies will be forced to come and put their factory in Nigeria and create sustainable jobs in Nigeria.
What you just said now is exactly what I asked. You understand? Again, that is a country that, you know what Tinubu did first? This is the most hopeless government in that area. They came and they opened the borders. Now we are importing rice. Buhari, as weak as he was able to encourage local farmers. Now, those local farmers now are experiencing competition from people who have machineries to produce rice. How can somebody that is using this, that is starting, compete with people who are already established? They said the rice is expensive. And meanwhile, you were able to stop subsidy. You could not even allow us to enjoy it so that we produce enough rice to feed ourselves. Exactly what you just said. So I think it takes a deeper understanding. The right word is, these guys are bankrupt mentally. It cannot be evil because you cannot be raping yourself. If they know what they do, they won't do this to themselves. And no reasonable man will rape his children. So something is wrong. They're mentally bankrupt. And I pray, I don't like the usual pray, that Nigerians wake up. The young people, I keep telling them, it's your destiny, it's your future. People like Tinubu, those stupid people who in the house, they are just messing up with your destiny. If the government wants to help you, don't ask them for road. You see, judge your government by what they've been able to do by young people. You know, the boy that won the youth now, the youth president. In the last year I entered to I told them, listen, your job to be how many Urubu youth will become computer expert in the next 5 years? How many trained mechanic of a high standard Urubu youth? You know, how many of them will be aero pilots in the next 5 years? When you do this, there is no way and a trained person will be poor. It is impossible. When you give somebody the right skill, he can never be poor.
That's correct.
Know what they do? They're going to bring Okada. You see, the worst of them is the Sopadek. That the Sopadek, they've never done anything useful in the history of Delta State. You know what? The Sopadek is even more, they are more evil than the government. Because the Sopadek have a mandate to empower people locally. What do? They park sand on the road and they say they build road. Some of them they fix some few lights. And say, we need a senator, a reasonable senator will say my job is to bring street lights. Street lights. When you see young people, you can empower to become human beings, and they will bring street lights, lots of them. Let me put it this way: the young people that are doing Yahoo, they are actually building things. They're making the money, but they are using it to beautify our society today. More than that street light today. Imagine if you have empowered them, give them the right skill, put them out of that bad things they're doing, and they convert that energy into something great. Imagine what young people would have done for us. So we have the potential. It's right there. Our leaders are not just, they're not wicked, they are mentally bankrupt. Because someone said this wicked, I disagree. Because no wicked, you cannot be wicked to hurt yourself. Brother, which reasonable man will want to send his child abroad when you can train the child in Nigeria? You are sick, they fly you to India, when you're not even sure who's going to treat you there. Who is reasonable man? If you're not mentally bankrupt, who's going to jump into that? But that's the thing. And reasonable man knows that I will take the money today. Tomorrow I will not be able to walk through the same road. I will steal the money and begin to build fence to protect myself from people that I'm supposed to bond with. The reason I make money is to have family, is to bond with my community. But now I have stolen the money. All I'm doing now is building fence. So the excess of the money is actually defeated. And you say that person is smart. No, he's mentally bankrupt. We have a lot of mad people who call leaders in Nigeria. There's nothing here. Maybe it's easy to think, I want how to make big money. But that doesn't make you a sane person. You might be actually insane. If you cannot think, what are you going to do with money if at the end of the day you steal money and use it to build fence? To protect yourself. But if this money is evenly distributed, in fact, Roland, the most expensive street in London is called the Bishop Lane. If you see Bishop Lane, it's in North London here. Those houses are like, I don't even have to describe how much they are. Roland, there's no single fence. You can see the compound. You understand? There's no fence. They're not running from anybody. But in Nigeria, if you build a small house, the first thing you build is a fence. And you foolish man, the day you manage to buy a Toyota Camry, you need a driver. Who told you can get somebody to drive you? Who are you to be driven? That's the thing I don't understand. It's irritating. And you cannot pay. I didn't say you cannot get driver, but pay and where now? They're paying 1.5 million. Nigerian government, please now. Let's remove slavery from our land. Roland, what do you have to say to the young people? Because the government, they are mentally bankrupt. So let's leave the government for now. Hopefully when the time will come, when the young people will take their destiny into their hands. If we wait for this set of people who are mentally bankrupt, we're wasting our time. We need to, the awakening will come from young people. You see, young people now, they are directing their energy into the wrong thing. You know what I think, Roland? All we hear is Nigeria election, Nigeria election. You understand? I don't even care who becomes the president of Nigeria. But my own today is make sure the person in office is tormented enough to do the right thing. You see, it's one thing to fight for the person to anybody, oh, my person to enter office. No, whoever is there on a daily basis, he gets the treatment if he misbehaves. We tell him what we want. If Tinubu gives this stupid thing, you give him to Tinubu. Not even not a fight, you let him know that he is really mentally bankrupt. You understand? And like you said, we don't have organized labor. We don't have a credible opposition in the country. So the only people I think we should talk to are the young people to see how they can take the destiny into their hands, because they are the one that are the receiving end. I think they are the one to speak on this occasion.
Yeah, so for going forward for the youth, there are a couple of things that have to be done. One, it's obvious that the elite is as if they've ganged up,
yes,
you know, to create this slave master status for themselves.
And
they want to hand over batting to their kids.
That's it.
Yeah, they want to hand over batting to their kids. So it's only going to be very few who are able to fight their way out of the slave status that will be able to have that breakthrough to possibly join the next level. But when you have that, please don't behave like the slave masters. Because these slave masters, they are not ready to give up. The laws they will continue to make is the laws that will disenfranchise Nigerians, the laws that we make them to be disempowered, that will make them not to move forward. Those are the kind of laws and policies they will continue to create. Because from day one, they want, after them, their kids take over. That's why you see the educational system is designed in such a way before now to make sure that, just there are few ones are able to be educated, and they put them in the civil service. All of a sudden, the civil service got exhausted also. They now created a new class that, okay, go to overseas to school, then when you come back, they'll give your degree a class. It's not by virtue of education or experience or skill. They'll just say, okay, it's not a foreign degree. Go to the civil service and head this portfolio or blah, blah, blah. But people are still cashing up. But they must also look for a way. So the way out now is not everybody definitely that would go to the university or go and have college degree or be able to travel abroad to school. But whatever you do, you have to know how to do it well. Whatever you do, you must know how to do it well. And for the youth, what I always advise is they should consider craftsmanship. They should consider developing artisan skills. They should consider developing trade skills. When you have those skills, initially, just as Daddy Kris said today, you really do not pay some of those artisans as much as their counterpart overseas, but it is also better than what they pay some of the people who have nothing, that they are not slaving, employers as help or get men and slave them. So if you have your little handwork, then you will be able to make a living from it. And there are a lot of handwork these days that are becoming lucrative. Some in the oil and gas sector, they are also very lucrative today. You have things like scaffolding craft, you have rigging craft, you have crane operator. You also have one of the most lucrative, which is ROV pilot tech. You have welding, you have fitting, you have rope access. Then you have the ones in the workshop. You have automotive mechanic, diesel mechanic, automotive electrical electronics, automotive programming, panel beating. you have vulcanizing, all these crafts. There are numerous crafts that you can go and learn, develop your skills, and possibly also get qualified and certified as a craftsman. Today, even though the pay is not as much as what you have overseas, but the trend of things is that even some of those people who are skilled now, they're getting jobs overseas also from Nigeria and go and, in hard currency to come back. Then also, I know in the near future, some of these trades, they are going to develop their own unions. Some of them have already, like the diving, they have union in Nigeria already. The wedding, they have union. The fitters, they have union. So those unions, they've been able to fight for their members so that their members will be well paid as well. I see every other of these trades and crafts in the near future developing their union, and the union might be able to regulate their activities and fight for them so that they will earn the value which they are adding to the society. The youth should not give up. There's a lot of hope for the country, and ultimately we have that potential to move forward. We have what it takes to move forward.
Thank you so
by
much.
the time we have the right leadership to harness our vast natural resources and put in place measures to attract investment, galvanize in the investment, develop industries to create opportunities for Nigerians, then we'll move forward in the right direction. Thank you, and thank the viewers at home.
Thank you so much, Roland. Thank you. God bless you. You see, people, and young people, you get it right. You see, this is by your destiny. If you pick up a skill, you can't get it wrong. And maybe it's still, I know the politicians, you don't want to hear this, but if you want to empower young people again, please look at the training skill Roland just mentioned. You understand? This is not rocket science to actually produce. There's a guy, Roland, and I think you should meet with him. I was quite impressed with what he did, though. You know what he did? He created this automobile engineering school. What he does is train people to become mechanics, but not the street mechanics. So he has these apprenticeship skills, and I think people brought him on one of our shows. And I said this guy should be talking to Roland. You know what I love about it is that it makes you become an engineer in the skill. You can go to university, you will not even get the skill that you're going to get in that place because you are not specific. You go in there, you learn the craft. Sometimes you may just specialize on brakes. So you understand? Some may just specialize on one small aspect of it, but you will know it to the end. And that is the kind of skills that's going to move you to the next level. Before I end this, Roland, do you know the funniest thing is that if you are a mechanic in Nigeria and you come to the UK, you'll be hot cake, because we cannot afford. You think what we do? We dodge the big boys. I don't want to take my car to BMW. I don't want to take it to Mercedes. So if I see you that you're a mechanic, oh boy, come, you fix my car. You understand? So you don't even need to. You're not going to look for a job within the black community, within the Nigerian community. We all have our cars. It's expensive to fix a car here. You will work and you'll be tired. So how can you get it wrong? If Nigerian, this is what I said. Those people that say they want to empower human beings, you empower human beings, in fact, by giving them keke. Don't give them keke. Train them on the right skills. Roland, God bless you. And I want us to
go. Thank you very much.
We're going to do this show. We're going to do a show on Saturday, Roland. Please, I'm begging you. That is another issue that is close to my heart. Roland, the act of people, you see, I may not have money. I may have only 20,000 naira in my account. Everybody in my family may have 5,000. If we put it together, it might be enough to start a business. But individually, I can't do nothing. We lack the spirit of coming together as a people, as a union, to strike. So that's why this one is doing this whole tiny one dying down. This one is dying there. But if we put the resources together, whatever money we're looking for is with us. So I want us to talk about the cooperative, how to use cooperative to grow wealth within within our society. I was targeting Urhobo Nation in particular, but let's give it to Nigerians. So that because when I was making that presentation, you made me realize that even the family level, they can do it. Community can do it. A nation can do it. So it's time to start.
That's what we need.
Yes, it should be the way to go, because we don't have a place, we don't have a bank that is friendly. The current Nigerian banking system, they give you 20, 5. You want to take a loan is 50%. So you're not going to get a loan. So the thing you can do is really come together as a people, and you might be able to create your own bank, like our forefathers did. Our forefathers, through Susu, were able to have their own banking system that was more useful to them than what you see today in Nigeria. Because back then, you drop your money in the Susu. When you need a loan, you go there, they'll give you money to go and do your thing, and you bring it back. You go today, you put your money in Access Bank, Zenith. You need a loan. You don't have. In fact, they don't even know you. Let us begin to come. God bless you.
That's true.
We'll do this on Saturday.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, God bless you.
Thank you.
Right.
Yes.
So, ladies and gentlemen, don't worry. My show is always an annoying one. I said it before. If you want to watch show that will make you laugh, or the show you want to see or you want to hear, please watch comedy. But when you come to politics show, there we talk about things that you don't want to hear. But maybe these are things you should hear. Like I said, we don't do things you want to hear. We give you things you should hear. And I hope tonight, the story of slave trade in Nigeria will be normalized. You see that we are actually slave traders, enslaving one another. You get to stop. And I hope that the message is loud and clear. We've been able to do justice to this topic. I'm sure I did what we had to do with Roland tonight to address this difficult issue. Like I said to Roland, we're going to look at another aspect of it, how you don't actually need to wait for government. You can come together within your family cycle, within your community cycle, and create your own destiny. Because the thing you are looking for is actually there. Somebody said, I'm looking for a loan. And if you go to the bank, but within this family, they come together, the money is there. Let us begin to think inside. Let us begin to think in that way, so that we can defeat the devil that is eating us up. Let me give you a little bit of a little break, and when I come back, I'm going to close this show.
Hooray! The next President Show is here again. Are you aged between 18 and 30, smart, bold, and possess exceptional leadership skills? Do you have what it takes to be the next youth governor and future youth president? Then register free now at superiorradioandtelevision.com or call the number on the screen. The Next President reality TV show, moving politics out of the polite drawing room into the clamor of the streets.
If you're just seeing that advert for the first time, it's called the Next President TV reality show. I know a lot of people want to do the same thing we do, but hey, let them try to educate themselves. This is a show where we encourage, we get young people to contest in the area of leadership, because that's one thing we are lacking as a people. African problem of the 21st century is that of leadership. So we designed this show for young people aged between 18 and 35 to run for the office of the president, but on a TV show. Just the way you go and sing and you win. Oh, I'm a good singer. This time, we want you to show that you can lead. By telling us what you do, should you become the president. We give you different tasks. When we give you tasks on the economy, on how to fix our electrical problem, we have a lot of challenges. We'll be addressing some. And maybe how to address minimum wage. That's one of those tasks. That's the kind of tasks we give them. And we see how young people profess solutions to this problem. That is what that show is all about. It is called the Next President reality show. Currently, we are at a very unique stage. The show starts normally from the local government level, So those are local government chairmen. See, I don't want to follow the Nigerian structure. We're designing our own structure. We start at being first, you go to the local government, you get a local government chairman. Now, the winners, we call them local government chairmen. The winners of the local government now contest for the governor. So at the end of the day, we're going to have a governor in each of the 36 states. So where we are now, we are at the stage where we are getting the governors for each of the 36 states of Nigeria. When I say governor, there's going to be a local contest in every state called the next governor to contest, to pick one person who will represent that state in Abuja. But that is a contest of its own. At the end of the day, we have a youth governor in all the 36 states in the country, and they have office to run. And then finally, it is the 36 young people that will come to Abuja to run for the office of the president. So we want to see how you will be able to compete and win as a governor first before you come and fight to become the president. This is a unique thing. I felt it is important. It's good for young people to start to practice this leadership we're talking about. Unfortunately, we've not been able to come to the legislative arm yet, but let us look at this executive arm of government. So that, and I hope that, in fact, what I wanted to do before was the Nigerian Senate, the youth parliament, that's what I call it, where they go there and they discuss issues like that are of importance. So you see speaker and this and the fighting. But now we're on this angle. And I hope those of you that knows how to copy, why don't you try and do that? The more the merrier. Nigeria need young people. We need to empower them to become future leaders. Think of all areas of leadership. Come up with a show and let us do something so that young people can be excited. It's okay to go to Big Brother and have fun. It's okay to sing. But another thing that is really disturbing us is leadership. Let us declare a war on it. Let's declare a state of emergency and make sure our future leaders are groomed, and we need to groom them now. My name is Kris, and this is the Politics Show. This is where I talk about some pressing things that affect us as a people. Don't forget that when we are here, my timetable is not very steady at the moment because of things I'm doing. So I hope you guys can understand, but I'll have a show with Roland again on Saturday. That show I'll be talking about, wealth creation, but on a unique level. I don't want us to wait for the government. Because the government doesn't even understand what we're talking about. I don't want us to wait for your bank. I want you to think how you can come together as a family and start something that will raise everybody there out of poverty. Alone, we cannot do it. Together, we can do it. I remember that parable. Malcolm said, if I slap you with this, it will just stain you. But what I need to put you where you belong is to put it together and hit you. So these fingers, if I do one, it's not going to do anything. But when I put it together, you can strike with one mighty blow. That's where I leave you tonight. My name is Kris, and this is the Political Show all the way from London. Stay blessed, and God bless you all.
It's politics time on Srtv with your one and only host, Dr. Kris.
We all must be part of the governance. So join Daddy Kris every day 8 p.m. to dissect on the political situation in Nigeria.